What's up, party people? It's your boy, DC, the brain supreme of tag team, and you're rocking with the Midwest Mixtape podcast. Whoomp, there it is. Sprinkles. Peace.
Party people! Yeah! Tag team music in full effect. That's me, DC, the brain supreme. And my man Steve Gibson. We're kicking the flow. And it goes a little something like this. Tag team back again. Check it, direct it, let's begin. Party on, party people, let me hear some noise. DC's in the house, jump, jump, rejoices. There's a party over here, a party over there.
Hi, and welcome to the Midwest Mixtape podcast, live from the Barn Studio. You got the Mox here, and I'm joined with Travis of East of Elvins podcast, and we're joined online right now with the brain supreme, Mr. DC from Tag Team. DC, how are you, man?
I'm doing very well today. How you doing?
Doing good. Thanks for joining us today. I want to get into a lot of things, but we have to start off with Whoomp. There it is, right? Became a massive hit in the early 90s. Can you talk? I heard you on the Dan Patrick show maybe a few years ago talk about, was it born in the strip clubs? It was definitely born in the clubs, but was it born specifically in the strip club?
That's where I heard it because it was a party saying, right? So just out of happenstance, I knew that we had to make an up-tempo record being in the Southeast. And, because we're from Denver, I went to school at Sac State, California. And my roots are hip hop because as a DJ, I would order records from all over the country. So I knew the pulse of hip hop back in the day because I would order from New York, I would order from DC. So that gave me the influences of all genres of music. And then when I got down to Atlanta after college, there was an art form called Miami bass. And, we call it kind of Southern bass now. And it basically was the up-tempo electronica music that I grew up to, Al Nafish, Planet Rock, Pac Jam, all those old, electronic records, right? Kraftwerk. And that was our influence. And I knew we had to make an up-tempo record because we were coming out of the Southeast. And our first attempt was Whoomp, There It Is. And people think it was some, Manhattan Project type situation that we had on lab coats and proving theorems and using
Right.
popular hit record. But it's just the song that pretty much is the thesis of every song in every genre, from country music to blues to hip hop to rock and roll, is young men chasing women, getting drunk on a Friday night.
That's the formula, right?
Formula, right? So it was a party record. And, we put it together. And I'll never forget the first time I played it in the club because I worked at a club called Magic City, a strip club, and played it on the cassette tape. And to this day, that's the biggest record response on any record I've ever played. Like 15 people came to the DJ throughout the song, like, what the hell is that? And I knew, but my hubris as a young man kind of shelved it to one of the girls because I'm thinking I'm the shit. Everybody gonna like my stuff. Anything I do is dope, right? And it don't work that way. But one of the girls was like, "Why don't you play Whoomp, There It Is? How come you stopped playing it?" I was like, "I'll play it." Same thing happened, but a record rep was in the audience. A guy named Alan Cole used to bring me records from Columbia Records. He was like, "What is that?" I was like, "That's my new record." He was like, "Man, give me that. We're going to New York. I'm gonna let them hear it." And now I'm getting calls from Columbia Records. I'm like, this could work with every label. And so every label has the record, and every label doesn't know what to do with it. Because back then, labels wanted to develop artists and all that stuff. And there was a time, the clock was ticking on that because we're in the Southeast and it's a party scene. There are other records that got that same title, right? So I almost gave up, but this young lady who worked for Mercury Records or A&M Records, I can't remember. Her name was Lisa McCall. She was like, "You need to talk to Al Bell." I was like, Al Bell, and for those who don't know who Al Bell is, the beginning of Black music, there were 3 record labels: Philly International, Motown, Berry Gordy, and Stax Records, Al Bell. And I gave Al Bell a call. He calls me back in 2 weeks, and I'm like, "Dude, I got a hit record. You need to sign us." And he was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Don't play with me, dude." I said, "You haven't even heard the record." And I'll never forget these words. He said, "Brother, I don't have to hear the record. I hear it in your spirit.
Mm.
Let's agree to agree, get this thing moving, and let's go. I said, cool. Gave my 2 weeks notice in Magic City, signed a messed up record contract. Then a month and a half, tag team was platinum. The rest is history.
And now it's multi-platinum, right? Several times over. Catching lightning in a bottle like that does not happen very often. What do you think it was about the song? Was it the catchiness? Was it that it could get the club going? And if you can get the club going, then you can get people responding to it in a way outside of the club. What do you think it was about it that caught so much attention and catches still the attention that it gets?
Everybody has a story about a song that they loved when they were young. It's a memory creator, right? So back then, there was always a song of the summer. You would drop it in the either fall or the spring, and it blows. Tone Loc Wild Thing, Rob Bass, It Takes Two, Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby, um, Young MC, right? No, you don't remember those records being in the wintertime. They were all in the summer.
Yeah.
They were songs of the summer, right? And Whoomp, There It Is was one of those songs of the summer. We dropped that thing, Freaknik, which was like in March. And after that, it went to the summer, and it was great timing because Ed Lover from Yo MTV Raps is a personal friend. Everybody knew me from Magic City because you come to Atlanta, you got to go to Magic City. And I'm the DJ, I'm the head DJ. So Ed Lover heard the song. He's like, "What's that?" I was like, "That's my new record." He's like, "Man, give me that, man." I was like, "Here's a cassette." He's like, "Man, I can't do nothing with no cassette. I need vinyl." I said, "All right, I'll give me a couple weeks." And that's the first thing I told, Al Bell. I said, "I need vinyl stat. Get 50 pressed up. I don't care how you do it." And met him down in Magic City, gave him a couple records. Next thing you know, Monday, 4:30 p.m., I'm hearing the instrumental on Whoomp, There It Is play on Yo MTV Raps, the quintessential TV show for hip hop, for the whole show. Then 2 weeks later, the Bulls win their third championship. Back then, there was only two cable channels. There was WGN, Chicago, that's why people love the Cubs, and TBS, that's why everybody loves the Braves.
Yep.
And I'm sitting there looking at the Bulls and 500,000 people in Grant Park celebrating, chanting, Whoomp, There It Is. And continuously, it just blew like that. So, and people in DC, everybody thought I was from DC because DC's in the house, jump, rejoice, right?
All right.
So
yeah.
nuggets in that song have different meanings for different people.
True.
And that still rings true to this day. I mean, we're the first on Jock Jams, right? We've got 3 or 4 kids records. So we have pretty much infiltrated young people's brains to love that song throughout for the last 30 years. We did Whoomp, There It Went. I taught Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse how to rap. This is a Mickey Mouse. I'm in the bowels of Disney, right? And I didn't know where I was at then, but that's how it was going, right? And then you've got Kids Bop, which they made a video for. Now every elementary school plays that. You got Gold Noodle, which is the same thing. So for kindergartners, they play it so they wear them out so they have nap time. For the older kids, they let you, if you act right, we're going to play it on Friday. I get so many TikToks with teachers playing that record. So when you get to the Geico commercial and a father's like, "Man, this is dope. I love this so much." And the kid's like, "I love this so much too." And it's like, "Well, what you know about this? Well, what you know about this?" That generational fusion has always been, prevalent throughout the history of this record. And now adults can party with their kids, and there's very few records that people can do that with.
Yeah.
Right. So, it's just amazing because I choose not to be a star, right? I choose not to, I know what my lane is, right? And I get to live my life freely until I want to turn it on. So I think I'm very, very blessed because I get to do things my way. And, that's what life is all about.
Kevin Bacon was on the Howard Stern show at one point, and he talked about anytime that he's invited to a wedding, he automatically goes to the DJ and he tips the DJ $100 to not play Footloose. Right? So because you know that that's going to happen. Have you ever had experiences like that where maybe a spontaneous that somebody wants you to get on the mic and actually perform it, or at weddings or dance halls, whatever it is? Have you had experiences like that?
Over the years, I have developed mastery in pulling off the Homer Simpson move, fading into the hedges.
Love it.
So I can
you can
feel
see
it coming. I can see it coming. And then when it starts, they're like, "Where's DC? Man, DC was just here." Right? I know how to be absent when that happens. Because, but then, if I want to turn it on, I turn it on.
Yeah.
Right? Because that means something to people. And it's amazing that everybody still calls me this day, "Can you DJ for my 50th birthday party? Can you DJ for my wedding?" I was like, I ain't DJed in 10 years. Right? Because I just don't, I don't want to be a 50-year-old DJ. And I've transitioned because it takes everything I got to keep us relevant as tag team. Because we've got one song when everybody else got catalogs. They got 2, 3, 4 songs. Right? Raw Bass, Tone Loc, Vanilla Ice, Color Me Bad. All the groups we tour with got several songs. So I have to work 3 times as hard to stay relevant, which is the funnest part of it to me. Because I'm rocking SEO, I'm rocking AI, I'm my own publicist, I'm my own booking agent. I do everything because I've learned how to do it. I've joined the organizations that can teach me. That's what I tell young people: join an organization, figure out what you want to do, join an organization. If you don't got the money to join, start calling them. Say, "Hey, I'm a student. I want to join your organization, but I don't got the money." They'll let you in. Then you're going to be in an organization with thousands of people who can tell you how to do what you need to do to be successful at what you want to do, as opposed to you trying to find courses and read books and trying to, people in the outside world are not going to help you. But inside an organization, it is their job to help you. People don't realize that. I'm a part of 30 different organizations. Because when I want to learn something, I join the Public Relations Society of America. And because I joined the Public Relations Society of America, it is the reason that you and I are talking right now. Because this would have been just another interview, but this is not just another interview. This is a podcast, which could be a potential credit on IMDb. This is a link to a website. This is me practicing articulation, me practicing my storytelling, me keeping you engaged, me interacting with different people that are not like me. This podcast and these conversations serve so many different purposes that make me me, right? So that's why I do so many, when I'm not touring. So it's like, it gets difficult at times because when we start touring, it's just hard to keep the calendar straight, and I lose sleep, and I try to be the best that I can, professional as I can, but sometimes a couple slip through the cracks. So, but I hustle. And I continue to hustle. And that's my favorite thing to do, because you get one life. And I'm going to ride this thing till the wheels fall off.
When you release that, and like I said, catch lightning in the bottle the way you did, do you find yourself chasing that next one the whole time? Or do you, we're talking about optimizing everything, right? Do you optimize it? And to me, it looks like you've parlayed that into a multifaceted career that involves a lot of different things. But I guess the genesis of the question is, did you find yourself chasing that next one?
Wasn't necessarily chasing, because we were in a 20-year legal battle. So we had a good run for about 4 years, and then the record company went bankrupt, and another record company tried to steal it, and then now I'm in a legal battle. And I'm like, where's the money? So I didn't want to become an old bitter rapper, because I seen what that looks like. So I said, you must turn your trauma into triumph. And every time something, traumatic happens to me, adversity hit me, I vow that it will never happen again, because I'm going to educate myself for it not to happen again. So during that time in the legal battle, I basically became a licensed, I became basically a paralegal because I need to know the language, right?
Right.
I became a licensed commodities broker because I said nobody will ever beat me out of money again. Now, 2000, I look at CNBC and be lost. Year 2002, I knew everything they were talking about, right? It's up to me. Nobody's going to give you anything. Nobody owes you anything. And the most important thing is you got to understand this really, and this is when you're free. Don't nobody care. Like, really, it's up to you. You control what you do, right? So it's up to me to learn voiceover the right way. It's up to me to learn how to act the right way. It's up to me to learn SEO because I don't have a presence. And because I learned SEO, now I'm masterful at getting in front of the people who can pay me, right? I love to learn. If I was like this when I was in high school, I would not have been DC the Brain Supreme tag team. I'd be an engineer somewhere throwing rockets up into space. I promise you. That's what I feel like. It's like I've changed so much that I am not the same person. I'm not the same person. And it's heartbreaking sometimes because I lost a lot of friends. But that's what life is. I'm always upward projecting. And a lot of people don't understand it. And what do they say? Misery loves company. And I'm like, hey, I gotta go. And I used to get mad when people didn't I can't say take you seriously, but you kind of want people to feel you, right? And you kind of want people to, you expect a lot of people. And I realized that everybody's not like me. Everybody's not willing to put in the work like I'm willing to put in the work, right? Everybody's not willing to be disciplined and come up with tactics and techniques and learn how to learn. It's not enough just to learn. You got to learn how to learn. So how can I learn this faster? How can I utilize these new tools that technology gives me every day? Well, you have to learn how to learn and keep up on it. I can't get to 70% of the things that I want to do because it's too much to do. Why don't you hire people? Well, I got to know what I'm doing before I start hiring people because people overpromise and underdeliver.
Yeah.
Right? So I have to do it a little different. I'm like, okay, you know what? Quit bitching about everybody else and just throw it all on your back. Everybody get what they want. That's the only way I'm gonna get what I want. So I'm not expecting anybody to do anything. I put it all on my shoulders and I'll be the one. All I can do is be the example. That's all I can do is be the example. And that's my goal. And that's what I've achieved. And that's why I am successful in stages. My life is extreme highs. And because those highs are so extreme, the lows can be low sometimes, right? But when I say that, it's just that sometimes I need those lows because
reality.
It's reality, right?
Right.
And you realize, wait a minute, it's just reality. There's nothing wrong. You're healthy. All these things are, what are you trying to be depressed about? But that only lasts like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, maybe once a week, right? So, I'm good. And I just try to keep my mind working, stay stimulated, and keep working hard.
What you're talking about reminds me of my favorite Jay-Z lyric. Probably going to mess it up, but he said, I don't ask anything of anybody that I don't demand of myself.
Yeah.
And that's something I try to live by. And I've often seen the fruits of my labor come into fruition. And that's a great feeling when that happens. But sometimes it takes a little bit extra work. Would you agree?
Yeah. And I still make dumbass mistakes.
Yeah, same.
You know what I mean? I still
Same
make
here.
money. I make bad money decisions sometimes. I still, you know what I mean? But part of it is you take responsibility. Like the key to me in life is taking responsibility for your mess ups. Can't blame nobody. It's nobody else's fault. It's you. You are in control of all of it, right? Like I tell people, when people want to get people want to blame people for why they can't do something. And they want to say the government's unfair this, the government's unfair that, just as an example. And I'm like, you're mad because they made a new law. Do you know what that law is? I said, it's in a book somewhere. I said, the key is to learn what they made that law for somebody. There's always going to be somebody getting it and somebody not. Yeah. So if you change that, how can I adapt my business to that new law that they made so I can prosper? Right? Nobody does that. Everybody just wants to complain about it. So it's the easiest thing to do, right? And they want to say, well, it affects everybody. No, it don't. You wouldn't be bitching about it if it didn't affect you. It's that simple. So everything I do is solutions, right? Bam, problem slaps me in the face. All right, so what's the solution? What's the pie in the sky? What's the most fabulous thing that outcome this could be? And then I work myself back to practicality. Now I got a step ladder to my goals and dreams. So I know what to do. I ask the right people. It's up to me to do it. And that's where, let's see what you're made of. Can you go through that gauntlet of heartache and pain and get to the other side where you can look back and laugh at it? And when you achieve that goal, it's almost like that pain goes away. You never really feel that hard work no more. You don't feel the blood, sweat, and tears that you went through to get where you can laugh at it. That's the beauty of it.
That's what I tell my staff on my line of work too. I mean, you nailed it right on the spot. Basically, whenever you come to me with a problem, at least bring one or two solutions. If you got time to think about the wrong, just what can I do to help fix it? At that point, we'll discuss it. We'll figure it out. Do it together.
And this is the thing you have to condition your life to be. I thrive in the bizarro world, right? You guys know what I'm talking about.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people are like, huh? I was like, wait a minute. I'm dealing with young people. I thrive in the upside down. Because if I'm going to be in another alternate universe, you better figure out the lay of the land real quick and not be crying because you're not in your comfort zone. That's what I do.
Hell yeah.
And you become masterful at it after you do it so much, right? Still make mistakes because nothing is perfect, but it's not going to be lack from working my ass off. I can tell you that. So
dropping knowledge bombs here. DC, the brain supreme from Tag Team on the Midwest Mixtape podcast. DC, when we posted this interview that we were going to be doing this, my man Travis here from East of Elvins said, I have to be on that podcast. He has maybe a little bit of a personal story from when he was younger, when Tag Team hit off. Travis?
Yeah, so just to let you know, DC, I was born in 83. So 93, I was 10 years old, got my first CD player. Went from the cassette tape to the CD player. My mom went to the casino, hit big, bought us all CD players and bought us 2 CDs we wanted. The first CD I wanted was Tag Team. Whoomp, there it is. I was a basketball player. That was my jam. I was working out, running. I loved it. Like you said, chasing tail. Then
at 10?
Yeah. Well, I started early, man. Basketball, yeah. I did. So playing that
basketball CD, and girls, yeah.
I put that CD on and basically was playing it. And my mom, it took about 2 minutes. She came back and she stopped it and she took it out and she said, we're not going to listen to this. And I said, Mom, this is my music. This is what I'm loving right now. She also bought me LL Cool J Black Panther. After she took the Tag Team, I played LL Cool J Black Panther. That CD got snapped 2 seconds into playing it. She gave me the Tag Team CD back. So at that point, I was able to take it out to the basketball court. And me and my brother, we put in so many hours on that hoop. And then whenever Jock Jams came out, like you said, that was a must have. And you find that repeat button, and you just play loop on it. I got to give a huge shout out to you, man. Thanks for that. Thanks for all. Because I can't even tell you how much that did for me at that time. For 4 years of my life.
Hey, man, these are the stories I hear every day.
I know.
Right? and I appreciate all of it, right? And, you know, I'm actually about to do I'm real big in content. I'm gonna start letting people tell their stories, about, just tell your stories about tag teams, about doing email campaign. So it's gonna be like survey. I want to know people's stories, right? And your story is one of the consistent ones. Another consistent one is that was my baby's first words. Another,
Oh, cool.
yeah, another, that was my first cheerleading routine in junior high.
Yeah. Jock
Uh,
Jams.
Basketball, and then to be number one, the first song played on Jock Jams Volume 1 is just historic.
OG.
Like, I do a blog post on that, right? Like, those are the things. Right now, I'm cementing the legacy, but through blogcasts and blog posts and storytelling, right? And I'm a motivational speaker, and I'm not even really trying, but people want to hear my story and how I weave marketing and all the things that I've done throughout my story.
Hard work pays off, man. Hard work definitely paid off.
You know what I mean? And it is hard work because the work is hard on me, right? We don't, sometimes it's like, why can't I do that? Why can't we be that? Why can't, right? But, you fight for it. And the things that I fought for, we still get to go out on the weekends and be kids, right? We still, our people love our show. And it's a pleasant surprise because they don't even expect it. And I'm a DJ. I'm old school. And if you're not dancing, I'm a terrible DJ. That's the genesis of DJ from back in the day. I don't know what they do now. Back in the day, I worked at all the clubs. If the floor wasn't jam-packed, I wasn't a good DJ. That's how I live my life for everything. I'm the DJ. I drive the bus. I dictate the terms of how this energy goes, right? So everything I do is energy. It's translating my humility, my thankfulness to the audience and help them remember the time of their life when it was just incredible because we were young and life was great, right? We had no worries, right? Like if you think about the worries we have today than the worries we had when we were kids, that was the greatest time. Young men, that was the greatest time of our lives, man. So I still get to live that, but it becomes Groundhog Day after a while, right? I still appreciate it. I still am thankful, but I gotta, that's why I really love the acting because I love the voiceover. I love all these. I love the AI. I love the SEO. I love because people they're like, you do so much stuff. What do you want? I was like, I want mastery. Mastery. Yeah, mastery. Because even if I don't get to the level I want to as a master, I'm in the ballpark because of my work ethic, right? And that's all we can do. You know what I mean? So I do these things over and over and over again and gain some type of masteries, and then they infiltrate into my life, and then I'm quick on my feet because I can come up with solutions. So, like I said, if you guys, I leave you with the audience that if there's something you want out of life, you don't even got to join an organization. Just whatever it is you want to do, put society, organization, or association after it, and you're going to get a list. And, organizations are filled with people who've been loving their profession for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and they can't wait to run their mouth about it. And all you got to do is pick up the phone and say, why should I join your organization? And they're going to just spew every reason with pride. And what they don't understand is while they're pitching you, they're teaching you. You can do five phone calls to any organizations and understand what it is that you need to do. They got the resources. They got the financial resources. They can hook you up with everything because every business, every, profession, you got to have the business side. You got to have the funding. You got to have the marketing. You got to have all these things that make your business successful. They have the resources. Why not be around 1,000 people who have done what you want to do that can physically talk to you and teach you? And that's what I leave everybody with.
Hell yeah. Much respect.
Much respect. Hey, before you get out of here, can we talk about Scoop There It Is real quick? How much did that kind of revitalize some of that energy or some of that attention with you guys?
I mean, I'd be lying if I said it didn't, but in certain pockets of society, we have been doing this forever.
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you about the gold noodle and the whoop, there it is, and whoop, there it went, playing it through children, it being in a movie every year, it being in a commercial every year. This was kind of the first time, this was the first time we had ever been in a commercial where they could see who tag team was. They know the song,
Yeah.
but it's tag team. And here's the beauty of it. It happened during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So nobody knew who we were because we were still wearing masks. I got away with it, right? I got away with not being recognized all the time. And I can still roll through airports and I hear people singing the commercial, talk. I see it on TV, everybody get up and start dancing. And it's like, they don't even realize that that's me, right? And it's just crazy. The thing that I get the most comfort from, or that I like the most, is that if I tell somebody who I am, it's always a pleasant surprise to them. Their face lights up. Because I'm not just another artist. I'm the dude who does Whoomp, There It Is, a song that they've known forever. That is legendary, that is historic. And I let other people say those words. I'll never say it. I'm just a guy who works hard. So Scoop, There It Is did a lot. That's the reason we've been gone since 2021, touring. But I've been able to take it and run with it from a marketing perspective. And that commercial is so revered that we have to perform it. That's our encore. And it makes me cringe because we're grown-ass men singing about ice cream.
Well, everybody loves ice cream. So talk about something.
That's why we get away with it. And that's, that's my upbringing. My father we had an ice cream maker. We had a crank, and then we had an electric one. My father would put the ingredients in, and me and my brother would churn, and then we eat it right out the cylinder.
Yeah, old school ice cream.
That's my childhood. And it's like I wanted to bring that essence to that commercial. And because I'm an actor, I prepared for it. So all the things you saw, the spin and scoop, the sprinkles, all that stuff comes from preparation, right? And I had to that was my shot. And to this day, it is the biggest Geico commercial that they've done. The most money they've ever spent on a Geico commercial, right? And I said, bigger than the caveman? It's like, yeah.
Wow.
Like, bigger than Hump Day? I was like, yeah. And I can see that because they spent bigger money because it was in every sporting event. Yeah. It came out Christmas 2020. Perfect time because you've got all the college bowl games. You've got all the new Christmas and rocking New Year's Eve. Then you got the NFL playoffs, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Then you're in the middle of the NBA going into, we were the grand marshals of the Talladega 500 NASCAR, right? Then that's see what I'm saying? There are pockets of society that other pockets of society don't even know the stuff we've done. Then you go into NBA playoffs. Then you go into the summer, Major League Baseball. But then you've got cable being saturated. You've got the internet being saturated, global YouTube campaigns. And they wrote it. And then they made us an ice cream. Then we did promotions on ice cream. Then we did a Geico tour. Then, it was like, I was trying to make more Geico commercials, but then I realized, don't do that. Because just like Whoomp, There It Is, you'll never be able to make a better commercial. You can do other commercials, but don't try to make a better commercial and do the same thing again. It's just not, don't do it. You walked out winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well said.
Don't come back and throw 32 interceptions and not make
yeah. DC, the Brame Supreme from Tag Team. This is the Midwest Mixtape podcast with the East of Elvins 310 podcast. Thanks so much for joining us today, man. We are big fans here, and
huge.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, and before I go, well, thank you guys for letting me come on here and run my mouth. And one last thing. for everybody out there. Squeako! Tag team has left the building. Peace, y'all.
Yeah, tag team music in full effect. That's me, D.C., the brain supreme, and my man Steve Gibson. We're kicking the flow. We're kicking the flow. And it goes a little something like this. Tag team back again. Check it, direct it, let's begin. Party on, party people, let me hear some noise. DC's in the house, jump, jump, rejoices. There's a party over here, a party over there. Wave your hands in the air, shake the dairy, yeah.